So, Cory Booker may think he's going to be president one day, but after his performance on Capitol Hill, it's very clear he stands a snowball's chance in hell. So, Kash Patel faced the Senate Judiciary Committee for an oversight hearing. For those of you unfamiliar, it's sort of like in our normal jobs when we have performance reviews, right? We get questioned by our managers and our bosses, hey, what are you doing? Here are your benchmarks, here are areas for improvement, here are your strengths. Well, that's what these hearings are supposed to be, but take a look what happened when Kash Patel pushed back on Cory Booker's insane line of questioning.
Mr. Patel, in just 8 months, you have assaulted the institutional integrity of the FBI. But I know FBI field agents. I've worked with them in Newark. No matter how truly bad you are, you can't undermine the legacy of agents who fight every day to keep us safe, but you can tarnish the integrity of the agency and undermine the agency's capacity. I believe you're failing as a leader, and that your failure does have serious implications for the safety and security of Americans and our families. We're more vulnerable to domestic and foreign attack because of your failures of leadership. I don't think you're fit to hand the Bureau, but here's the thing, Mr. Patel. I think you're not going to be around long. I think this might be your last oversight hearing. Because as much as you supplicate yourself to the will of Donald Trump and not the Constitution of the United States of America, Donald Trump has shown us in his first term and in this term, he is not loyal to people like you. He will cut you loose. This may be the last time I have a hearing with you because I don't think you're long for your job. But I'm going to tell you this. I pray for you. I pray for you that you can step up and defend your oath, defend the Constitution, and do a much better job of defending this country. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do you want to say anything?
Yes, sir. That rant of false information does not bring this country together. If you want to work on bringing this country, it's my time, not yours.
My God.
If you want to talk about
dividing this country,
it is my time.
I follow you on your social media posts that tear this country apart.
To address your falsehoods.
Oh,
you are an
you can try all
to the
you
division
want
in this country.
to not take responsibility for what you have said.
Time.
Sir, you're
your
making a mockery of this committee. Sir, you don't tell me my time is over.
You
the
know
people of New Jersey tell me what my time is. You can't lecture me.
You can tell me my time's over.
You may be the charge of the
I'm not going anywhere.
but I am not afraid of you,
Mr. Chairman.
Not afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Senator Booker, I announced at the beginning of this meeting that this back and forth talking over each other doesn't work. And I said if that happened, I asked Patel not to respond, and I was going to give him some time after the senator's time was up to respond. And he has the privilege to do that uninterrupted.
Mr.
So
Chairman, one point of order.
Go ahead, Mr.
I've
Patel.
watched him talk over us, and you've never once criticized him for us not even being able to get our questions out.
Well,
he has been rude and disrespectful to senator after senator.
And when the senators were not giving him a chance to answer, I didn't stop the senator either. Go ahead, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If the FBI, under my 7-month leadership, were failing this administration in this country, why do we have 23,000 violent felons arrested this year alone? A double increase from that time last year. Why is it that we have seized 6,000 weapons? Why have we found 1,500 child predators and arrested them? Why have we 300 human traffickers in jail? Why have we found and identified 4,700 children? Why have we seized 1,600 kilograms of fentanyl, enough to kill a third of the American public, a 25% increase alone from last year, 88,000 kilograms of cocaine seized, 7,000 kilograms of meth seized, and that's just on our criminal operations in summer heat. How is it possible that we're taking 8 kilograms off the streets of the cities in New Jersey and preventing the deaths of 607,000 people this year alone, a failure of the FBI and my leadership? How is it that we have counterintelligence arrests already this year exceeding the numbers from the entirety of last year? 33% increase in PRC, 83% in Russia, 60% in the CI space as it relates to Iran, and we haven't even talked about CT, the southern border, the northern border.
So you'll notice that Cory Booker didn't even ask a question. He opened his time with a rant. And once his rant was over, of course, Kash Patel wanted to respond. Who wouldn't want to respond when your reputation is under attack, right? But Cory Booker got so offended that Kash Patel wanted to fight back against those falsehoods, and that's what led to that back and forth. And look, it's very clear to me Cory Booker intends on running for president again in the next cycle. You take a look at his 25-hour filibuster, all of his marathon media appearances, it's very clear that he's laying the groundwork. And if he can't even handle this simple back and forth with Kash Patel, it's just hard to see how he could survive a Democrat primary, let alone the general election season. So there's that. Well, I don't know about you guys, but to me, I am personally starting to get really sick of these hearings. Of course, they have a good purpose. And of course, there should be oversight on our government officials. The Senate has every right to make sure that people in the FBI, the DOJ, etc. are all doing their jobs. But unfortunately, what it's turned into is just grandstanding and senators trying to make a name for themselves, trying to get a soundbite that goes viral on social media, gets talked about in the mainstream media. And what happens is hardly any business gets done. It turns into a show. It turns into theatrics instead of actually producing results for the American people. And look, here's the thing. To all the Democrats out there, and to be very fair, Republicans do this as well, but whenever they try to score points, at least they do so in a manner where they're at least attempting to get business done, whereas with the Democrats, it's just campaign mode 24/7. Like, why can't you just focus on asking questions on, hey, can you confirm those numbers, or can you send documents corroborating what you're saying, or hey, those are great results. Is there any way that we can improve the budget? Is there any way we can improve FBI safety? Were anyone in the public put in danger during any of these operations? There are so many actual questions that you could ask to make the government more efficient, to make the FBI better at its job, to make the budget stretch even further. But no, all they resort to are personal attacks. And that's why I think people are tapped out and sick of politics. That right there is the best example. And unfortunately, it's not just Cory Booker. Senator after senator did this. One of the best moments was actually with Senator Adam Schiff from California, where he didn't even realize about a minute into his rant that his microphone was cut off.
The American people to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No. I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of
you're not in
inmates.
the weeds?
What I am doing is protecting this country, providing historic reform, and combating the weaponization of intelligence by the likes of you. And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution and an utter coward.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised that you continue to lie from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take it to the bank that the FBI is protecting this country and the state and citizens of the California. We are bringing historic reform.
Point of order.
But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat. And what did President Trump do? Bring new charges courageously. And what have we done?
Chairman,
you said I'm the most transparent FBI director in history. 33,000 pages of information to you. I challenge you to say anything credibly to the truth. Go ahead and run to the cameras where you want to go now.
Both of you be quiet.
I mean, it was an absolute zoo, but of course I would side with Kash Patel over this, but it is a shame that instead of actually getting business done, instead of actually being productive, everyone's just trying to score political points. Obviously, whoever's in the seat, in this case Kash Patel, they're trying to defend their reputation, defend their honor, defend their integrity, so I don't blame him for shouting back when he's being attacked by senators just constantly in this entire hearing. So you'll notice his defense was, well, I'm not in the weeds, which is true, right? He's the head of the FBI. He can't know the most nuanced details of every case. That's why they're in charge of making sure that the entire organization is working at the highest level possible. And that's why you put in people beneath you that you can trust to run whatever investigations they need to and give you the top line information. I mean, just to put this into perspective, one of the Democrat senators started grilling and was basically upset that Kash Patel needed a reminder about the Dylan Roof case. For those of you who don't remember, the Dylan Roof shooting happened in 2015. So not only was that a decade ago, I think it was 2014, and then he was charged and convicted in 2015, if I'm getting my dates correct. So over a decade ago, and Kash Patel, he is the FBI director this year. So not only was he not around doing FBI work a decade ago, but I just don't get why they used that as a point to attack him. And so that was the point he was making about being in the weeds. Well, Kash Patel said that Adam Schiff better run to the cameras, and that's exactly what Adam Schiff did. He held a press conference today with many other Democrat senators, and the most funny part was he appeared to be shunned by his Democrat colleagues. Just take a look at this moment.
And invite my other colleagues to comment if they would like as well. Other questions?
Oh boy. 2 points I would like to make here. Number one, this press conference was about defending our Constitution, defending our democracy. So even after the political assassination of Charlie Kirk, the Democrats clearly are doubling down on their rhetoric that President Trump and the Republican Party are a unique threat to our constitutional republic. They're doubling down on this rhetoric that Trump and his administration are authoritarian in nature. I mean, what else can you mean when you say defending democracy, right? And so it's clear that the Democrats haven't learned a lesson and don't want to lower the temperature. That's why they're holding this press conference. Number two, it's interesting that no other Democrats up there decided to come up to the mic. First of all, when you do a press conference, isn't part of the purpose to speak to the press? And if you're going to stand up there with one of your colleagues, you better be passionate about the cause. You better believe in what you're saying. You better, all of these things. And so that stuck out to me for several reasons. Well, one of the best moments during the hearing with Kash Patel was when Senator Hirono accidentally made a case that many Republicans have been screaming for the last few years at the top of their lungs. But before we get into that, I would like to acknowledge Colt P.I., Milkful Same, Inky 67, Sage and Stone Homestead, Jeremy 2001 Happy, USMC Car, Steph S, Lizzie Tom, Bama Riddenauer, Dennis Nevin as the members of today's Governor's Club. These are people who give tips and super thanks to the channel. I am so glad that you're here. And again, welcome to all the new subscribers. It's nice getting to become familiar with the new profiles and usernames in the comments. I really do try my best to take the time to read each and every single one. So I'm excited to get to know and become familiar with each of you. We'll take a look at this moment between Hirono and Patel that most Democrats don't want you to see.
Move on to my, you've been asked some questions about changes to your hiring standard, and including college degrees and possibly the age. But, one question I had is that you are now requiring applicants to be able to do a certain kind of pull-ups, which a lot of women cannot because of physiological differences. Are you requiring these kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring a physical program at BFTC at Quantico because FBI agents carrying guns in the field have to chase down bad guys and do really hard work. The physical fitness standards of those agents
are you requiring these kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring everybody to pass the 1811 standards at BFTC. If you want to chase down a bad guy and put him in handcuffs, you better be able to do a pull-up.
The reason I ask is that there are concerns about whether or not being able to do these kinds of harsh pull-ups is really required of FBI agents.
Doing one pull-up is not harsh, and there are always medical exemptions to that.
So obviously, she unintentionally admitted for the first time, at least from a high-profile Democrat recently, that yeah, there are biological and physiological differences between men and women, male and female. That is common sense, that is science, that is biology. For whatever reason, the left wants to denounce it. But when you listen closely, every once in a while, the truth slips out there. And apparently, Hirono, unlike one of our Supreme Court justices, can tell the difference and define what a woman is. You gotta love it. What a crazy world we live in. But as always, though, all of that is just my analysis and commentary. That is what's happening in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So regarding these hearings that happen, do you think there's a way to fix them? Do you think there's a way to actually make them productive and make sure business and work actually gets done? Or do you think they are forever politicized and that's just the nature of the beast and that's just what we have to deal and live with? Let me know your thoughts, what you would do to fix the situation if you could, down in the comments below. If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.